Hello, my name is Sam DeVille, and I serve as the pastor of Flint Baptist Church in Flint, Texas. Recently, we asked our online congregation if they would like to submit questions about the Bible or just life in general, and I would give it a shot at answering them. Well, these are those answers. But please remember, these are based on my opinion and are not the official opinion of the church. And they're based on 40 years of ministry and of studying the Bible. So I hope you enjoy them, and if you have any other questions, feel free to submit those. Thank you. Should pastors address current events and world issues from the pulpit, and why might some pastors choose not to? Well, that's a great question because some people think that the pastor should comment on every major event, whether it be a disaster that's taking place or whether it's an update on wars or what's taking place in Israel or in the United States government or every election. My take on that is, in ministry, I've been led to preach expositorily through the books of the Bible. That means, as God leads me, like the book of Exodus, I will start at chapter 1, verse 1, and preach through the Bible. Now, as you do that, there are two different ways that I approach my sermon. The first is through interpretation. That means that I'm going to tell what is actually taking place in the Scripture, why was it written, who was it written to, and the text of the Scripture itself. Okay, so I'll do about 50% interpretation, but then I'm going to use 50% for application. How does that apply to me? How does that apply to my life, to my family, to my marriage, to my relationship with other people? So I have interpretation, what's the Bible saying, and application, how does that Bible verse apply to me? And if you'll do that, eventually you're going to come and apply it to current events that are taking place in the world. But my calling is to preach the Bible, not to be a news commentator. And if I begin to talk about current events on a regular basis, I would eventually, that's all I would be doing, because there's always something going on. And I would just realize that my calling is to preach the Bible, and eventually I will touch those current events. But I'm not going to just preach current events. And so there needs to be a happy medium in there somewhere. I do speak about them at times, but I'm not going to preach on them all the time.